As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, with a vision of transforming India into a developed nation, I'm joining Shobhit University. What about you?
Very good morning to all the participants from India and abroad. Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, Meerut, deemed to be university, and its centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, in association with African Asian Rural Development Organization, ARDO, New Delhi, organized this weekly international webinar series on open source digital technologies towards self-reliant India. Today is the 78th edition of the webinar series, 11th June 2022. This webinar is being organized on every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Indian Standard Time. On behalf of the Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency, the Secretary General Ordo, Honorable Vice Chancellor, the faculty members of the university, and on my behalf, and as Professor Emeritus and Chairman of the Centers of Excellence, Center for Agricultural Informatics and E-Governance Research Studies, Center for Agribusiness and Disaster Management Studies, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications, and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and Center for Health Informatics and Computing. Let me welcome our guest speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Meera, Venkat.
Hello.
To talk on the topic Artificial Intelligence and Metaverse, Frontiers in Workspace. Dr. Meera Venkat is the President and CEO of RAISE Global. And I wish to inform the participants and the guest speaker that under this international webinar series, these two centers of excellence, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Applications and Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, have organized 77 lectures on very important topic of relevance, namely open technologies to provision simple and economical IT infrastructure meant for all urban clusters of SMEs in the country. There are about 3,500 urban clusters of SMEs. They need to have, simple economical IT infrastructure. A roadmap for students using free and open source software and reaching goals of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Open source software in industrial IoTs for SMEs. Free and open source adoption oblique business model. Open data platform for smart digital government. Technology imperatives. Make in India for self-reliance. Edge artificial intelligence. Data governance for self-reliant India. Digital India transforming governance and society. India's email service. citizen@indiamail.com in 22 constitutionally recognized language. 75% of the mails from India go through Gmail. Ecosystem architecture for digital transformation. Education system, cyber critical infrastructure. Seizing opportunities in open innovation and value creation network in the digitalized world for self-reliant economy. Delivered by Dr. Jabamale Vinanchi Arachi, former principal advisor to the Director General UNIDO Vienna on 5th December 2020. Today's topic is very relevant to the topic which he talked about. Ensuring food safety and compliance through technology. Digital India, urgent need for semiconductor manufacturing in India. This we had it on 19th December 2020. Today, Government of India has unveiled a very big scheme for semiconductor manufacturing in the country. Entrepreneurship, technology investment in agriculture value chain, role of foreign direct investment. Entrepreneurship and skill development, AI design pathways. Rise of platform economy, revisiting value chain governance. Era of automation, industrial robotics, and Industry 4.0, Indo-German perspective of technology transfer, skill gap analysis and opportunities. Role of artificial intelligence in healthcare, current developments in diagnosis and vaccine research. digital agri-tech and agri-startup perspective, health informatics network value chain, e-health system and beyond, leveraging emerging technology for ensuring transparent and traceable agri and food value chain, unleash the power of citizen development for enterprise software development, e-governance models towards sustained quality services to citizens backed up by technology. Indian MSME to adopt Industry 4.0 technology capabilities, urgent need for mentorship and accelerator program, building pub- building public digital platform using microservices and APIs, health informatics network value chain, early childhood development and learning, health informatics network value chain, clinical AI, interface between machine learning and health informatics. This can revolutionize all the primary health centers at grassroots level, both in the public health as well as in the animal health. Health informatics network value chain, importance of social medicine and community health in the times of health emergency. G filter, gravity filter, a simple low cost solution to the drinking water treatment in rural India. Open space, open source GovTech startups empowering growth with automation. Digital transformation in small enterprises and small businesses of India, challenges and opportunities. National Digital Twine Program, need for a robust geospatial infrastructure. The country doesn't have a robust geospatial infrastructure, and we are talking about the Digital Twine Program. Industry 4.0 in MSMEs, benefits of indigenously developed CollabCAD software from National Informatics Center, mass serialization and anti-counterfeiting solutions to fight illicit trade by a young entrepreneur is doing BTech third year. Cyber security, risk challenges and solutions, intelligence approach to reduce cyber risk. New internet IPv6 root server towards Atmanirbhar connected Bharat. We discussed that the country needs about 10 IPv6 root server in India. Indian startups, reflections and possible policy interventions needed for scaling up to Gram Panchayat. If startups has to flourish in at Gram Panchayat level, nowadays it is all around IITs, NITs, and IIMs. Blockchain and crypto for digital assets platform, pathways for global trade. Robot as a service, leverage technology to solve enterprise challenges. Space startups, connecting to international markets with emerging business models. Enabling technologies for future vision. Vivekananda Secondary Education and Skills Development Mega Project, its potential impact on rural entrepreneurship and the rural economy in India. Sports Grail, a digital sports media platform, and prospects of Indian sports industry sustainability model at global level. Pharma 4.0, Industry 4.0 applications to pharmaceutical manufacturing, path to a digital transformation. Accelerate and scale non-linear growth through partner ecosystems. Technological renaissance and human capital, a perspective. Health informatics network value chain, medical outreach challenges versus potential. This NGO is working in Nilgiris forest. Beyond COVID-19, revitalizing micro and small enterprises, project management essentials, launchpad for future CEOs and startup founders beyond. Society 5.0, a new society beyond Industry 4.0 and post COVID-19, delivered by Mr. Tomio Isoge, former managing director of Sharp India Limited. Smart Village, Oblique Community, African ICT, IoT lesson. Digital economy, ways and means to protect and empower for self-reliance. Pragmatic ways for Atmanirbhar Bharat. Democratization of renewal of democratization of essential services by using sustainable energy as a catalyst. Transforming India through relevant education and vocational training. Digital technology in simplifying citizen life, online learning during the pandemic and its future, smart microeconomic zones, pathway for self-reliance at village level, crime prediction support system, knowledge management for development partnership to achieve the sustainable development goals of UN, and implementing the Agenda 20 by Professor Andreas Brodner, Global Chairman and Managing Director, Knowledge City, Vienna. Millet value chain from IoT to blockchain, a traceability roadmap. Aspirational district program in left-wing extremism affected district, a successful model of data-driven governance. Digital architecture, agriculture supply chain, and trading hub, a geo-economic perspective by an NRI, Mr. Maya Suresh Kannan from Canada. Market-driven agriculture, need for development of crop-specific strategies at block level. An open agri network to unlock the $1 trillion plus potential of Indian agriculture through with the smallholder farmer by the founder and group CEO, Sam Unnati Group, Chennai. Developing rural entrepreneurs to ensure doubling of farmers' income, leveraging the power of convergence through connecting of dots, agri startups, agripreneurs, and rural innovators. Agronomy plus artificial intelligence equal to precision farming, doubling farmers' income, imperatives of plant health informatics network, developing commercial breadfruit value chain to help farmers reach high value markets. Commodity value chain creation through Agri Network and Agri AI by Mr. Andrew Gavagan from Melbourne, Australia. Farm to Plate, one-stop agri-tech platform to simplify supply chain and e-commerce needs of food and perishable commodities. Health Informatics Network Value Chain, National Animal Disease Reporting System, NADRS 2012 and beyond by Dr. Praveen Malik, Animal Husbandry Commissioner to Government of India. Today is the 78th edition of the very important webinar series. We'll have the talk by our guest speaker, Dr. Meera Venkat, President and CEO, Raise Global, and Chairperson, Women Leadership Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development, Bengaluru, on a very important topic, AI and the Metaverse, Frontiers in Workspace. Dear participants, please note the keywords, artificial intelligence, AI, and Metaverse, Frontiers in Workspace. Atmanirbhar Bharat, it is a vision of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, of making India self-reliant nation, rested on 5 I's: intent, inclusion, investment, infrastructure, and innovation, and based on 5 pillars: quantum jump in economy, infrastructure, one that represents modern India, system, 21st century technology driven, vibrant democracy, and demand, whereby the strength of our demand and supply chain should be utilized to full capacity. Atmanirbhar Bharat in agriculture also had a big booster in the order of 1.5 lakh crore to facilitate agriculture cooperative societies, farmer producer organization, and startups for boosting farm gate infrastructure. Vocal for local for the to make it global. It's a demand-based economic system which is self-producing and self-consuming, facilitating make in India, make for India, and make for global. In this connection, I would like to inform the audience that India has got about 63 million SMEs and micro and small businesses. They needed to find a place in the space vacated by China due to COVID-19 pandemic. 63 million MSMEs and MSBs. And the reforms announced have been systematic, planned, integrated, interconnected, and futuristic for creating strong enterprises, generating employment, and robust supply chain. Agriculture sector is the foundation of Indian economy, and it employs more than 50% of the India's workforce. Today we are talking about frontiers in workspace. Agriculture sector provides and employs about 50% of the India's workforce. And at present, agricultural livelihoods are being severely impacted world over as a result of anthropogenic rainfall, anthropogenic global warming, and climate change. And Indian farming community comprises of about 14.5 crores operational holdings, and of which 80% of the farmers having small and marginal operational holdings. They need timely, location specific, and personalized information for effective control on their production, risk, and then their market their produce to identify market opportunities. Digital India program, many national level programs, be it Digital India, Make in India, Skill India, Startup India, and Stand Up India, who have faced operational difficulties for its impact at farm level and farmer level, and that too at small and marginal farmers. Digital India program aims to transform India into a knowledge-based economy and a digitally empowered society. And it has been a major driving force for budding entrepreneurs and a key contributor for a phenomenal growth of the Indian IT sector. To empower the society and build their knowledge economy, the need for digital transformation was felt long back. The Digital India initiative has been the right path at the right time when the technology is advancing faster than ever. On 20th February 2019, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology published a report titled India's $1 trillion Digital Economy Opportunity in collaboration with McKinsey and Company, and it has identified 30 digital themes. 30 digital themes. If scaled up nationally, can accelerate India's progress in 9 areas. So this is an era of startups and scale-ups. Digital world, the rise of platform economy. Digital systems or ecosystems are essential for digital transformation in the digital world. Artificial intelligence, 5G, IoT, serverless computing, biometrics, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain, robotics, natural language processing, and quantum computing are making impacts as per the published document. In the ecosystem in which India works is based on agriculture 4.0, industry 4.0, and society 5.0. And the government of India has also have a strategic plan titled Amrit Call Up, led up to at 100. Next 25 years, strategic plan to make India a new India based on following 4 priorities. Prime Minister's Kadi Shakti, no silos, everything has to be integrated, interoperable. Inclusive development with macroeconomic focuses and microeconomic focus with inclusive welfare focus. Productivity enhancement and investment, sunrise opportunities, energy transition, and climate action and financing investment. And we have 17 sustainable development goals and 169 targets to be achieved. This is under the Agenda 2030 to give us the future we want. Now, today's topic is artificial intelligence and metaverse, frontiers in workspace. For the participants, I would like to introduce the theme appropriately. Workspaces are where people get work done. Workspaces are where people get work done. Many businesses may lack enough workspaces, but are not always looking at the other variables that define them. To encourage the best workplace productivity from employees, you need to build out workspaces conducive to how they work. There are many connections between workspace and productivity. This is where artificial intelligence and metaverse, technological frontiers in the workspace. But both AI and metaverse is built on data, which is the foundation, data foundation, on which India has done a lot of foundational work since during the last 4 decades. I was closely associated. I was the project director for 512 district level computerization program called the District Information System Program of NIC, way back in 1987 when Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India. Then 1995, I brought the IT blueprint in the agriculture sector through 15 Informatics network. Now, after retirement as a Director General NIC, I have converted these programs into agricultural informatics development programs associated with Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology. Artificial intelligence, we have a national strategy on artificial intelligence unveiled by the Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transformational India. National strategy on AI aimed to realize the potential economic and social benefits that technology offers to India. It mandated to create the roadmap for implementation of AI in India in the 2018 budget speech. National strategy on AI was released in June 2018 to identify AI goals, priority sector, and major recommendation: agriculture, education, health, finance, and so on and so forth. And Niti Aayog act as the, India has to act as the AI garage for the world. India to act as the AI garage for the world. We have so many IITs, NITs, central universities, IIMs, about 22,000, college, 4,500 engineering colleges, about 40,000 colleges of higher education, and 1,500 universities. And they should make agriculture artificial intelligence for innovation. And that is more important. Our students have to come out from the higher education institution or AI specialists. And then I also would like to quote another important report, because agriculture is one of the very prime sector. What PwC and FICCI talks about it, and ushering in a new growth wave from artificial intelligence for agricultural intelligence. Agriculture is an unstructured problem, and AI, it fits into that. India is an agrarian economy, and no institution of higher education, be it NIT, IIT, IIIT, IIM, and 1,500 universities have made agriculture as a use case. And now it is very important. AI, agriculture, artificial intelligence for agricultural innovation through agricultural intelligence. And it redefines agriculture through artificial intelligence, predicting the unpredictable. Cutting edge technologies like AI, in AI such as IoT, machine learning, cloud computing, statistical computing, deep learning, virtual reality, augmented reality are enabling the agriculture sector to overcome the challenges of productivity, quality, traceability, and carbon emission with enhanced profitability. And the report further says that major challenges with the innovation and technology aspects of AI in agriculture sector are limited pool of AI, and sectoral expertise, existing gaps in public AI research, poor data quality, and lack of access to data, and lack of coordination and cross-border collaboration. It is very important. And then another report which has come out from the Niti Aayog, from the Atal Innovation Mission. This is a report written by Mr. Anurag Vashnik and Anisha Bassi, and the title, Meta Governance. I was associated with the program of e-government and e-governance from 1987 onwards. And now how Metaverse can be and AI can be utilized effectively in the e-governance program. And I'm very happy that the title is Meta Governance, Role of Metaverse in India E-Governance. When the e-governance was talked about it in 2005, National E-Governance Program. Before that, we were able to network 3,500 agricultural wholesale mandis out of 7,000 wholesale mandis. for creating a big data database on agriculture marketing price. And that time we used to talk about 5 models of e-governance: broadcasting model, critical flow model, comparative analysis model, e-advocacy oblique mobilization, and lobbying model, and interactive service model. Now, how Metaverse and AI should be impacting in this 5 e-governance model? Even though we have experienced in this country for more than 2 decades on application of e-governance model, e-governance programs, but unfortunately, state level e-governance programs and national level e-governance programs based on a village doesn't even doesn't even talk to each other. There is no interoperability achieved, and there is no common thinking of how to solve problems at village level. And another report talks about, which is published on 10th February 2022, make it Metaverse a universe for all. Is not only Metaverse, Metaverse, it should not start with Metaverse, it should facilitate multiple universe for all, inclusive development. And that is very important rural India. From Web 2.0, we are now supposedly moving towards a Metaverse, a virtual reality space where people interact with each other in a computer-generated environment through virtual and augmented reality sets. And then it also reflected in Parliament. Honorable MP Lockett Chatterjee has asked a question who sought information regarding the status of regulations on Metaverse and Web 3.0. Honorable Minister of State Finance, Shri Pankaj Chaudhary, has informed the Parliament that all emerging technologies are being regulated by the Information Technology Act 2000. Which are they? Artificial intelligence, blockchain, drones, augmented reality, Metaverse, and Web 3.0, among the others. It means that it has also got the attention of the lawmakers of the country. He also further stressed that National Strategy on Artificial Intelligence and National Strategy on Blockchain have already been formulated. India's National Programs for AI, which was developed by Niti Aayog, defines artificial intelligence for social good, for all. This is very important, and this is possible if these technologies become part and parcel of Metaverse. And some of the key areas which government has already undertaken, one is that to deploy artificial intelligence in the area of health, agriculture, education, manufacturing, and finance sector. To quote an example, the National Jal Shakti Ministry has been using Internet of Things based sensors to monitor water availability and flow in 6 lakhs villages. It's a massive deployment of IoT sensors to monitor water availability. The next one is industrial metaverse, data, cyber security, and legal consideration. Because industrial metaverse is a network of digital twins that links the physical assets and the digital world. It enables manufacturers to connect their digital twins with their consumers and suppliers so they can work together and get insights based on real-time data. And we were told, and I also read it, that Boeing is reportedly planning to create its next aircraft in the metaverse. In the manufacturing space, there are 5 techno impacts that augmented reality, virtual reality, and multiple reality will have on manufacturing over the next 5 years. 5 big impacts. And which are they? Number 1, training employees more quickly and more safely. Simulations ahead of physical deployments can find improvements. Using augmented reality, virtual reality for field service workers to repair their equipment on the job. Product design collaboration virtually around the world. This is where I said open innovation and value creation network in the digitalized world for self-reliant economy it's going to be a reality. And building physical products from virtual design, adding digital assets from physical items. The industrial metaverse begins to evolve across many corners of the internet. As we move to 2022, technologies will converge, and the industrial metaverse will start to take shape. Technologies will converge, and the industrial metaverse will start to take shape. On one side, we have Industry 4.0, and another side, we have Agriculture 4.0. Third one is Society 5.0. And then Singapore said it's smart cities. And now with these technologies, everything is generating data. Data is the basic fundamental, which has been gathering data from equipment and environments from many years. Now these data are stored in cloud and accessed through on an off-the-shelf IoT provider such as Amazon's AWS or Microsoft's Azure. On the other side, we have a 3D world of gaming technology, augmented virtual mixed reality, and CAD. Combining these two leads, that is 3D world and the Industry 4.0, to an immersive environment where IoT data can be accessed in a new and innovative ways. A corner of the industrial metaverse is created when we add a remote collaboration as a future set in this environment where many users can access the same data at the same time and interact with each other virtuality. So if metaverse has to make an impact in the manufacturing sector, Industry 4.0 is the first. If it has to have in e-governance, then Digital India is must. And in the agriculture sector, Agriculture 4.0 is a must. And in the Society 5.0 is a must. And from Facebook changing its names to Meta, to Microsoft rollout of Mesh for Microsoft Team, Metaverse is on evolution today. When it comes to the manufacturing industry, from rapid production process designed to increased transparency for consumers, Metaverse is very likely to transform the manufacturing landscape. 5G, Industry 4.0, the digital economy, the Metaverse, it also have implications and regulatory challenges. Technology innovations versus regulators. The clash of universe we will witness. Technology innovation take place, and the regulators have a problem of understanding technologies. So we will have a clash of universes. How Metaverse will bring this, the gap which is narrowed. Centrality's data unit in the regulation of Metaverse. What has made Metaverse possible is the evolution of digitalization, not a digitization, that evolved from the power and use cases of data units. And the paradigm shift and the battle for control, the word has shifted from tangible to intangible, from intangible to digital, from digital to virtual, from virtual to simulation. Metaverse is a combination of two words, meta and universe. It is a virtual realm where physical, augmented, and virtual reality converge. It's a parallel universe where human, augmented, and virtual realities are supposed to merge. In 1992, Mr. Neil Stephenson, as in his fiction novel Snow Crash, has invented this coin, and he used the term to describe a virtual reality that will be created after the internet era. And now this is Web3 and Metaverse glossary, and there are about more than 56 glossary which I have listed down, 59, which anybody who would like to work on have to understand, starting from altcoin to Web3 and virtual reality, virtual economy, and creator economy, and so on and so forth. Finally, that Metaverse value chain that also has been published. There are 7 layers, like 7 layers of communications, where it's like 7 layers of communications. Here also 7 layers of the metaverse: infrastructure, human interface, decentralization, spatial computing, creator economy, discovery, and experience. If our future generation, our youths, when they come out from the higher educational institution, if they are well versed with the 7 layers of metaverse, I think Indian innovation will go up like anything. Internet 3.0 and Web 3.0. In 1990, we called internet is the information superhighway. In mid 2000, we entered the age Web 2.0, and now the internet should be decentralized without the technology science. In the future of Web 3.0, we could look at the rise of new social platforms, search engines, and marketplace built and owned by collectives rather than by the tech giants corporation. Web 3 may be the pathway to cutting the middleman out of the internet, data, and information exchange itself. The internet could become a place that is run by the collective. Evolution of data centers, metaverse, Web 3.0, and digitalized automation, autonomous organization. We will have a new data centers based on metaverse, and all the three are digitalized platform that enables users to create their digital assets and identities. Metaverse is conceptualized on the idea of creating a new world that allows for open, transparent, and collaborative governance. DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which is self-governing organization that is run by rules encoded as computer programs called smart contracts. Web3, the third generation of worldwide web, marks the evolution of internet from a platform for pushing static pages into a platform for running applications that can interact with human and other mission. With this background, let us now turn to the address by our guest speaker, Dr. Meera Venkat, President and CEO, Race Global, and Chairperson, and Women Leadership Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development, Bengaluru, on a very important topic, AI and Metaverse, Frontiers and Workspace. This topic will galvanize and motivate the participants watching our telecast through facebook.com/Shobhit University India, or youtube.com/Shobhit University in, or linkedin.com/company/Shobhit-University, for motivating them to get inspired to work in the area of AI in Metaverse, which involves combining various technologies such as virtual reality, 3D animation, and blockchain. It has become one of the hottest topic in technology and socio-economics. Following the idea of democratization, the Metaverse AI and its decentralization layers promises to allow creators and users to exchange digital assets and entitlements easily, protecting ownership and ensuring disintermediation from big technology corporations. AI can play a relevant role in the future of Metaverse, not only from a product perspective, but also considering how AI could make the Metaverse more inclusive. This is no more a nebulous concept. Let me introduce our guest speaker. Profile, please. Profile of Dr. Meera Venkat. Dr. Meera Venkat is globally recognized as a leading futurist, speaker, and strategy advisor and C-suite professional. She works with the business leaders and C-level executives, enabling them to meet and share their experience and expertise, and to problem solving together and improve the performance of their companies. Dr. Meera Venkat is the president of Race Global and founded Race Global C-Suite Thought Leaders Networks, which includes CEO, CFO, CHRO, CMO, CTO, and CPO, which helps leading organization act today to create a successful tomorrow. Race Global is a unique research-based reputation consulting firm which works with the C-level executives, She is closely associated with as advisor, Bio Innovation Center, Government of Karnataka, Chairperson, Women Leadership Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development, Chairperson, International Import Council of Commerce and Industry, Advisory Board Member of World Development Peace Organization, Board Advisory of Asian African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Race Global Entrepreneur and Startup Group, ex-chairperson, Indian Society for Training and Development, and she's also associated with Special Committee on Aviation and Aerospace of Bengaluru Chambers of Commerce, Industry and Commerce, and executive member of National Institution for Quality Assurance. Dr. Meera Venkat works globally as a strategy advisor to leading organizations, SMEs, funded startups. She works with the C-suite executives, board of directors, senior executives, strategy teams to lead and stimulate effective strategic planning and thinking. She has deep expertise in facilitating strategic thinking among executive teams, provoking valuable insights and bringing to bear high-level perspective on the future, disruption, industry shifts, and opportunities. She is a recipient of many awards: Karamveer Global Fellowship Award 2019, Global Leadership Award of We Lead Trust 2019, Women Economic Forum Award 2018, Global Woman of Excellence Award 2018, Woman of Substance NEFD Award for Women 2017, Business Excellence Award 2016, and Best Woman Achiever Award 2013. She is a seasoned value creator, growth, innovation professional with experience rating and deploying new business model, expanding business into a new market and launching new business, and also a dynamic advisor to various corporate in the area of people development and technology initiative. Dr. Meera Venkat is a regular commentator on blockchain, artificial intelligence, women empowerment, digital strategist, and specialist in reputation research, recently being featured as a speaker in many forums and top colleges and universities in India and many events and conferences. She has written and co-authored many articles in the books and magazines and also featured in many of the top news report magazines. With this introduction, I would like to invite Dr. Meera Venkat for this today's international conference webinar on open source digital technologies for self-reliant India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, on the topic artificial intelligence, metaverse, frontiers in workspace. Over to you, madam. Thank you.
I think thank you so much. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. First of all, thanks to Professor for inviting me for the 78th webinar show. I think you have been doing a great job. I'm sure that all your audience are also enjoying, the webinars which you're conducting. I think, and special thanks to Shobhit University and also AARDO. And also, I think there's an initiative of CIDSA and CITSA. So thanks for giving this opportunity of bringing back all of us together. And today's topic, I think when I was discussing with Professor, he was saying we have to do it on AI and Metaverse, frontiers in workplace. So I was just thinking, hearing him out for past 20 to 30 minutes, I'm just thinking what more to cover because he has covered the entire thing, which is a part of AI and Metaverse as far as the futuristic trends are concerned. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to do a greater justice than what he has done by talking about all the challenges and how is he futuristic about futuristic aspect of AI and metaverse. Plus, he has also covered the corporate governance part and the futuristic part. So I think, Professor, you have not left a lot of space for me to talk about AI and metaverse, but I'm going to bring some interesting case studies for you. Might be still he has already spoken, but I will also try to touch upon and trigger upon whatever he has told in my own words, so it can recap your focus on AI and metaverse. So with this, I would like to share a small presentation with you. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So Just give me a moment. It's just yeah. So here we are. Are we all able to see the screen? Professor, can you help me out? You're able to see the screen? Not
No,
yet?
ma'am. Now we are able to see.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I think whatever we are going to. So I'm going to take this conversation into two levels. One is AI part, and then I'm going to get into the metaverse part, because AI has come before the metaverse version. So we are going to complete one by one, and then also take it to the workplace and talk about how it impacts the workplace. So as the professor really has spoken about AI as a career for the global growth, I would also like to tell in my own words, also in the words of Mr. Andrew, AI is the new electricity. So, in this present world, you can't do anything without electricity. It is impossible for us to work without electricity. So, that is what AI is going to do for us in the future. So, we are looking at AI as a new electricity, which will power us in a lot of ways, which is possible. So if you talk about, I'm just going to also look at the screen specifically. Yes. So, so if you talk about the screen which you're seeing right now, so we will cover up what is consisting of this basics of AI. This is covering a portion of machine learning. It is also talking about the computing part of it, NLP, deep learning, and also the other part which is about robotics. So I'm going to give you probably a brief about everything which is mentioned here. So artificial intelligence is nothing but a system that can perform the task that is normally requiring human intelligence, such as virtual perception, speech recognition, the decision making, and the translation between the languages. So if you ask me, AI is more on the physical part of the world. And if you talk about the machine learning, it is the ability to automatically learn and improve from the experience without being explicitly programmed. So if it is all about how the machine is going to learn from us or learn from anything which you're going to compute, so it will be probably a translation, I would say. So that is what is all about machine learning. And when we come to deep learning, it is going to be an artificial intelligence function that imitates the working of the human brain in processing the data and creating patterns for use in decision making. So if you wanted to make a very good informed decision, then you might have a lot of data which we will be working on, but most part of it, the decision making, the informed decisions making are made only using the creative patterns. So I think deep learning will take us there. And computer vision is basically a technology that can gain high level of understanding from digital images or video. So, from the perspective of engineering, I think it seeks to understand and automate the task that the human can perform. So that is what it will concentrate on. And if you talk about the natural language processing, it is the ability of the computer program to understand the human language as it is spoken. So in the later part of my coverage, I will also be talking about how AI is or a metaverse is going to play a major role in the language part of it. So moving on to the next screen. So let me take you to my next screen. So we are going to talk about the evolution of metaverse. So if you just get into the evolution of metaverse, I think to start with, let me go back and ask you what did this pandemic do to us? So during the COVID season, I think for past 2 years we were all getting isolated. The more we got isolated, the more we wanted to get back with our team through any of the social medias. like engaging with our own office colleagues or engaging with the family members and engaging with the outside world. So for everything, since we are not able to do anything physically, we use the digital as a platform. So that is where we started seeing the real value of digital, which was coming into the social media in a bigger way. So if you talk about the base of metaverse, is based on human connections are necessary for people to thrive. So that as a base, even the past data during the COVID, it was showing more than 33% of depressions happened because people were not able to interact with each other physically. So that is where the evolution of metaverse came into picture, because you wanted to get yourself an avatar, you wanted to speak to the other person, but you don't wanted to use only voice as a mode, but you also wanted to use your real self as a mode, or create your own avatars while speaking to people so they can connect with your real self. So that was one of the major thrive for the evolution of metaverse, I could say. However, if I'm going to tell you how you have to live how your life is going to change completely, because metaverse will absolutely change the way we eat, we game, we walk, we play, and whatever we do. I think there is going to be an extremely, what do I say, 360-degree of change which is going to happen right now. So if you talk about what is metaverse actually, metaverse is a virtual world where we can live, we can play, we can travel, we can walk, and sometimes if you say it is also not existing in that way, but it is still also existing. For an example, if you talk about, if you're going to go ahead and buy a house, if you see, the house is not built in, but when you go to the real estate guy, he will show you a 3D view of the house is being built. So before even you get into the house, you will get to know how the interiors will look like, how the paints will look like, how the furnitures will look like, and you can also create your own avatars and put there and see for yourself how the living is going to be. So it is still not into existence, but that is a dreamland that you are in. And through a metaverse kind of a technology, you are able to experience it before you even live in it. So that is what it is going to create. So it is kind of a science fiction at this stage. And many technology industry claims metaverse is the next level of internet for them. So if you talk about internet is going to be kind of a metaverse. So it's a next wave, or it's a next truth, which is the moment of truth, which is coming alive. So if you talk to me, I would put it in a very simple word that metaverse is a alternative reality. So when you talk about one side is a virtual reality, the other side of metaverse is going to be an alternative reality for us. So with that, let us get into the next screen. So you can stop me in between if you're having any questions. I would be more than happy to take it up with you. So right
Yeah,
now,
please, please,
let
please
us
carry
go
on.
ahead and
Please carry on.
yeah. So let us go ahead and see. Since we know about metaverse to an extent, we will also talk about understanding the AI and metaverse part of it together. So if you talk about the AI is one of the fundamental technology. Why we talk it as a fundamental technology? Because AI is built on data. I think Professor has already covered this topic at length for us when he was talking about the AI stuff. So we are going to talk about a lot of data because data has become fundamental for us, and that is why AI is built on the data. So it is called as a fundamental technology. Today we are going to focus on the AI as one of the foremost fundamental technology that can make entirely new things possible over a period of time. So whether it is existing or not existing, everything is going to be possible. So there are a lot of breakthrough in AI research platform, which is being happening, and I think most of the problems are getting resolved through the metaverse. So metaverse, if you ask me to define, I would say it is an immersive version of the internet. Instead of seeing it on the screen, you will actually be inside it for experiencing it. So let me take you a small example of what initiative government of India has taken. I think one of the initiative is going to the temples and creating the meta version of those avatars which are there. So this is a small sample which I was able to experience it myself. So one of the metaverse was created using the technology where you can go ahead and look at Tirupati, Devasthana. So what happens here is when you are getting into the immersion version, because when you get into a temple or or to any kind of a place, if you wanted to see any of the ideas which are very very close by, it is very difficult for you because it always gives you that kind of a distance. So you will not be able to get into the close to the avatar. But with metaverse coming in, you will be able to, with using the equipments, which are glass equipments basically, which you will be wearing, you will be able to feel the physical self of yourself and also the virtual self of yourself inside the temple. So I experienced this with one of the Hyderabad-based company, which got into the metaverse version of Tirumala Devasthana, where you will be able to walk through inside the temple and you can see the 3D view of the temple, and you can also go in your avatar and see the avatar for yourself. So I think this is amazing. It is going to give you a beautiful experience. So if you want me to ask, this metaverse would require a new hardware, a new software, but it's a culmination of the physical self of yourself with the virtual self. Because one side you are there physically, and you will be I can be stationed at Bangalore, but on my physical self, but I can use the metaverse glasses, but I will be able to virtually see the Tirupati Devasthana. I could walk into the temple. I could go ahead and see the avatar nearby. In fact, it also helps us to do any kind of puja and things like that. This is the real time experience which I had, where you are augmenting the physical self and also the virtual self. That is what AI and metaverse and do it together. So with all these new hardware and software devices and the coding system, I think anything can happen. So the key to unlocking the advance in AI is having a lot of challenges too, accordingly. So let me take you through the next slide of mine, which will give you uh, the AI perspective of the four pillars. So if you talk about the four pillars of AI, the first one is going to be a foundational research. I think again, Professor has already touched upon it, but I would still like to say that in AI, this research is going to be a continuous process. So where we test, trial, make a lot of mistakes, and also know what works and what doesn't. So for us to know, it is very important, and this is made available as a knowledge to transfer for the team. So because any research work which is coming will enable for people to share their best practices. So the team which we are working on, the team can do a unbound research, and it is open to all of them, can do whatever they wanted, and enabling them to publish even the research work of AI. So the first pillar, how the AI is built, is the research-based builder. The second thing, if you talk about, is AI for products team, because talking of what we are learning, this learning need to be building into a product of scale. So I think all this research work and the learning will be developed into a product. So that would be the second major pillar for AI, which is the product. And third thing, if you talk about is the responsible AI, because when AI is coming into into reality right now, the implication of technology is going to be on data scale. And you're going to work on a lot of data, which can also be a junk data, which can also be a very, very useful data. So how you are going to use the data is something which is very important to us. So implication of technology and the safety and the privacy, that is becoming the major area, and security measures and fairness. when you're working on the AI system, and privacy, as I've already told you, that need to be taken care when you are doing anything in AI. So that we call it as a responsible artificial intelligence. And last but not the least, all the AI, infrastructure. So infrastructure would include all the platforms which you are going to use for AI for building the technology. It will also include all the frameworks. So with all these things, you will be able to create, new experiences with Metaverse using the AI. So let me get into the next screen. So let us have an understanding of the AI and the Metaverse in a greater platform. So if you see sorry, I think I have this slide. Yeah. So if you want to talk about the understanding, I think I'm skipping. Sorry,
I think you skip. Okay.
I have skipped it. I'm just trying to. Yes.
It's going
Yeah.
and back and forth
So
is
I think
coming.
we have already done this screen.
Yeah, that's true. That's we have done it. Okay,
Yeah.
this is that.
So let us talk about what are the challenges which we are, facing in AI. Because I was speaking about the security and privacy matters. So when you're talking about challenges in AI, there is an entire new generation of system which is coming up. So creating this new generation of system that will help us to explore the new futuristic world. Because I took a example of house where it is not available right now, but you are trying to create it. So same way, I think you will be able to create the new generations of system, a new generation of app, the new generation of avatars, or new generation of products which are not existing right now. So the challenges will also be in understanding what is the reality when you're creating all those stuff. So if you're looking at the virtual world is still not closer to reality. So when you're using your physical self to get into the virtual world, you will have a lot of challenges in the physical self and also in the virtual world. For example, when I was experiencing this metaverse glass, and I was trying to experience one of the idol which is there. So while you're doing the physical step, you will not be aware what is the present environment, because that is an experience which you all have to do it yourself if you have a chance. Because physically you will be present in the physical world, but you're still in the virtual world. So when you're doing that, there is an implications that a lot of data which are also getting created from the physical world, which has to wow, which has to work or merge with the virtual world which you're looking at. For an example, when I was putting this metaverse and I was trying to experience it, I was just walking on the path. I was trying to use my left, right, but I was not realizing that I am inside the meta world, but I am trying to use my physical self to do it. And you have to be very cautious, in thinking both the two. So you can't get lost in the virtual world than your physical world. So we are still facing a lot of challenges there when you're trying to augment the reality between physical and virtual. I'm not sure whether I'm able to articulate it really well, because you have to experience it more than what listening to what I'm talking. But it's going to be amazing, because his environment is going to be very dynamic. Because see, if you're getting into the meta world, it is going to be dynamic, and it is going to be changing, and it is going to be challenging. So AI should be able to understand and learn like how humans do. So that is also going to be a greater challenge. And if you're and second thing is, if the metaverse is going to learn everything from us as human, and it need to require to learn our gestures, it need to require to learn all our body languages, all our movements, all our facial expressions, so on and so forth. So lots and lot of data are going to be consumed. So I think that is one thing which will be a self-supervised system. For an example, even for machine learning, for you even to even for the system to understand what is a cat, you have to give millions of photographs of cats, how it looks like. So the machine can understand this is how the cat looks like, and these are the color combination which the cat will have. This is how the ears will look. This is how the cat will, meow, or the sound vibrations will come. So these are various things which are going to be a part of the machine learning, which will also become a challenge, because the moment you put a tiger face there, it's also part of the cat family. So it might also pick up a tiger as a cat, unless and until it goes back and sees the sound of the roar of tiger is going to be different from a voice of a cat. So that is the kind of deep learning which it will go into. So it is going to be a large amount of data. So few of them will be junk, and few of them will be very useful. But your data, your decisions are going to be based on these data. So a person who is able to read the data should be able to segregate what is useful and what is not useful for them. So, and the biggest challenge is going to be the cyber security. The security space will take more, create more. Priority role, because with a lot of data is coming in, there will also be a lot of security measures which is coming in, and there is also a lot of privacy measures which will come in. So we have all experienced it. We have all been there in Facebook. People can replicate your account. People can replicate a LinkedIn profile of yours or a Facebook profile of yours. They can start communicating with each other. So if you see in those world, if they can create those kind of can hack into FB and create your own account and create havoc for us, you can find what can happen in the metaverse kind of a platform. So it will be equally challenging, but we are all day to day evolving in this. So I think not we don't have answers for all the questions, but these are some of the things which we have to face altogether. So getting into my next slide, so which we are going to talk about the perspective of AI. So AI, if you see, it is always see. I'm combining AI and metaverse together, so people can understand the AI part of it, and also combining with the metaverse part of it. So if you clearly see how the AI is built on, it is built on two perspectives. One is the egocentric perspective, which we see, which is our own version, and we talking to the system. So that is egocentric perspective. Second thing is going to be a whole new class of generation model. Whatever creative you think, you can make it. So which is not available with us right now. For an example, the unicorn version. So horse with the horns, or horse with wings, or anything. It is the imagination is the second part of it. So if you talk about Avatar movie which has come in, or any of the technology movie which you can see, you can see human with tails, human with wings and things like that. So that is the next set of generations which are whole generative models which are coming out, which is very new, which is the creative part, which is not available for us. And the other thing which AI should be looking at is all the languages. So if you don't require language as a medium anymore. So that's what we say, because the AI will be built on the language which is English, but it will be able to communicate like how Google is able to communicate in all the languages. So one thing which will happen is the metaverse or the AI platform will talk to you in all the regional languages too. So in that way, your language, you don't require any more interpretation. It will be bringing people together on a global scale. Can you imagine if I wanted to talk to somebody in Japan, and if I'm going to use the metaverse kind of a platform, it is not only the reading and writing script, or seeing in the movie or subtitle is possible, but right now the interaction between two people. So I can talk to him in English, and he will be able, the machine will be so quick that in a million of a second it will be able to translate in the Japanese language, and it will be translated to him in the Japan language, like how I'm Japanese language, whatever I'm speaking, and he will be able to communicate with me live live in his own language, which is Japanese, which will be converted to me as an English language. So there is no more mode of interpretation is required. So you can speak in your language, people can understand in their own language, and that is what it is going to happen. So interaction between two people who does not have a common language is going to be possible. An ability to communicate with anybody and everybody is going to be possible with all these new technology innovation which is coming. So let me also move on to my next slide, which is going to be what are the key features. But before I get on to this slide, I also wanted to give you some case studies and then come back to the slides, which will be more. Yeah. So if you talk about AI and metaverse in the workplace, I think I have some case studies which will make you to understand more. So if you talk about one of the newspaper client, they are into because when we had this COVID thing which happened, a lot of digital media came into place, and newspaper industry is one of the industry which went into automation very faster, which use the digital transformation at a known speed, because they are one of the broadcast media who were communicating with everybody. So that is one media which we were able to get onto and catch hold of. So what happened? How AI and metaverse has helped a newspaper industry is something which I'm going to tell you. So it has actually empowered the news and reporters, because in a digital platform, you are able to talk about what is happening during the situation. So it is not, if I'm a reporter, if I'm going to talk about this is a situation which is happening in specifically in Bangalore, and it's going to be a COVID situation or whatever situation, or I talk about any other topic which goes live in our AI platform. But if you see, because of the automation, there are the reporters were able to give their own reports, but also able to powered by the different data points which was there, which was coming up in the social media, and a reference article towards that can also be empowered there, and it became a knowledge powering platform, because even the customers who were reading the reports were able to give their own comments, are able to raise their own voice, and customer viewpoint were done immediately, and it also had a quick effect. So gone are those days that newspaper has become one side kind of a platform where you're only talking about reading the news and things like that. But this AI was used by one of the Italian newspaper company during the COVID situation, which empowered not only the news readers or the reporters, but it also empowered the whole part of the people who were hearing the story. So everybody started putting their own comments and their own verses of what is happening. So that was empowering everybody across the world. So that is one of the case study. And the second case study is more interesting case study, which I wanted to throw. This was opted by one of the fashion industry. So usually fashion industry, if you see, they work with a lot of designers, right? So they bring a lot of designs into the platform. So what this company specifically did was they collected all the designs from their own designers and put it into the AI platform. So this AI platform allowed the consumers to go ahead and see what are the fashions which are available for them. So the next thing what they did was, what are the successful designs that are working and what are the successful designs which didn't work. So both were brought into the platform really well, and not only their own designs, they also went and captured the designs of the competitors, which worked and which didn't work. So what did the AI did? AI went into the platform and got what are the designs which are accepted by the customers really well. What are the fashions which are not accepted by the customers at all. So what it happened is two things happened here. So the designers were able to understand what is going to be the futuristic trend, because whatever is the success fashion which happened during that time, they started to build based on that fashion. So all the design team, the AI did the designing of the dresses. The AI brought in what are the colors which are chosen in different countries. For an example, if you see in Germany, most of them they would not wear more color shades except for gray or black or white or something like that. Whereas in India, we would require anything and every color which is possible. So if you see the fashion design in Canada will not be the same in London or will not be the same in India. But the AI is able to throw us that kind of a detail. In India, this is what is going to work. In Canada, this is what is going to work. In Japan, this is what is going to work. And it's also thrown all the color combination which is possible, all the what do you say, cloth texture which is possible, and it started combining all these things and started creating patterns for specific countries which are accepted and which are not accepted. So with these, the fashion designers who are there got more empowered with these data coming in, and then they started building new designs based on whatever is required. So here the success data becomes more than 80 to 90%. So it doesn't become a failure at all for the designers who are making it. So this is what it gives, adding more value. So if you see the whole thing, the designer were able to create more value. The chances of their design success were more, and the other thing, if you see the metaverse platform which is coming up right now, you will also the designs which are being created by the fashion guys, you can also wear it in the metaverse platform. So that would be the second world altogether. So you will be able to really experience yourself, wearing these kind of fashion clothes and experiencing whether it is going to be looking nice for you, not looking nice for you, and then you can go ahead and take a decision whether you also want to purchase those kind of products or not. So I think this is what is going to be the metaverse experience part of it as far as the fashion industry is concerned. And to talk about a little bit of the automation part, because when you're talking about the AI, when you're talking about the AI part, it is more physical. But when you're talking about the metaverse part, it is more creative works. So the creative works and the transactional work is the key for the metaverse. So the fundamental data says that 80% of the seniors who are there in the AI is being used in increasing the top line. So if they do take decision to improve the top line of the company using the data which are coming up in AI. So data is a key. What work can be improved using AI is enormous. Another case study which I really wanted to bring in is a case study of a hospital. So where the kidney transplantation was happening. So the doctors were empowered because if I'm a doctor today, I have data which is available for past 10 years. So the things which are available for a kidney transplantation, and during the process and also the future post kidney transplantation, what are the best practices, what are the things which they have done, what are the permutation or combination of the side effects these people could get, all those things were captured. So the minute a doctor gets in, he can just, by a click of a second or a click of a speed, he will be able to diagnose what are the patterns in the kidney transplantation, or it can also be probably in cancer, what kind of a cancer, what are the preventive measures, what should be done, what should not be done. Everything the AI will do. And you can put your own keywords and search for this, what is it here. So in a fraction of a second, it gives it. So it is AI is not replacing the doctor. Please understand, AI is not replacing the doctor. It is not replacing their experience, but it is augmenting the doctor to make the right recommendation, which is humanly impossible, because humanly you can't go back to a 10 years data and take whatever is there and give it to you. But the AI platform which is there right now would help, in the fraction of a second. The speed is going to be more, and you will be able to get those 10 years data in a time. So I think this is where the real value comes in. I think the doctors are using AI in a greater platform. So I think I have given you three case studies which you will be able to understand. So let us go back to the previous slide right now. So what are the key features of metaverse? So if you talk about the key features of Metaverse, I just wanted to touch upon it. So if you see, it is a simple web-based system which if you wanted to create a Metaverse platform, it will be a web-based login which you will use for creating the Metaverse, and ability to create the custom avatar. I'm not sure how many people have used a platform which is called as Second Skin. So the Second Skin platform came at least around 15 years back, but it was a metaverse platform. But during that time, nobody has taken it so seriously. But it gave you an opportunity to go ahead and create your own avatars there. So you can select your skin color, you can select your body type, you can select your appearances, and all those things. With those things, you can create a real world. So right now, also, I think most of the company, I think we had Tech Mahindra, which was presenting on how they are using Metaverse. So Tech Mahindra has created a platform for them to even go ahead and show how their new car looks like. So if you want to experience star of a car which was brought by Tech Mahindra, they have created a tech platform, a metaverse platform where you can sit and see and drive for yourself and feel for yourself. You know how it is. So these are something which is being becoming a key features which can be included. And absolutely ability to interact with various objects within the metaverse platform is going to be possible. And I think everybody need to go through the second skin, because you will be able to experience metaverse in a greater platform, because that will talk to you about the the hand gestures, the leg gestures, the facial expressions and things like that. So it can also be bringing a lot of flexibility to choose from the custom platform. And apart from this, it will also be applicable across the industry. I've already spoken to you about the how Tech Mahindra is using, and how hospitals can use, how a fashion technology industry can use. And I think it is enormous. I think even a professor was talking about the aviation, how they are going to use those kind of a stimulation platforms. So I think even in army, in defense, what they are hearing is it's going to bring the cost into a larger extent, because today, if you really wanted to give to the soldiers those kind of platform, they have to use those kind of bullets if they wanted to trigger on a real sum. But when the metaverse platform is coming in, it will not be a real trigger which is being used. So they will use in the metaverse platform those kind of weapons and bullets and things like that. So to a larger extent, because only during the simulation time, during those kind of times, they would require the real time ones. Otherwise, I think the metaverse platform will bring down these kind of bullets. So defense is also using a lot of metaverse platform right now. So I can't tell you how much it affects, but whole of the world is going to be affected. So these are some of the key features which I wanted to really show on. And coming to what are the barriers which is going to be affecting the platform, because you should also know about that. So, so with AI, people, the common question which comes is whether it will replace human. As I have already clearly stated, we are not going to replace human. But what will get also people, the work of the people didn't reduce. Only thing, the job roles got expanded. So if you're going to focus on carrying one thing from one end to the other, then the machine was doing the same thing, the automation was doing the same thing, the robotics were doing the same thing, but the same people who were working in the supervisory level was giving different skill and different talent, where they got to the different kind of industry and they started working. So here also it is going to be the same thing. So it's not going to be AI or metaverse is going to replace human thing, which is becoming a big thing right now. But it would not do that, but it will focus more on the growth of the business. So how you can empower employees will become the key thing. So how you can empower them with the data and technology will be the key thing. So that will be the focus. So people will be able to take more informed business decisions. So that is going to be the key. So the barriers is definitely not going to be the same. So I thought when we are doing the presentation, I should also cover it up. And so always to come to the next step, you should always align your AI strategy with the business strategy, because sometimes we get lost. So when you're aligning the AI, you can't work on the isolation. So keep on putting a lot of data there without having a strategy in place, without having the focus in place, what the business is going to drive. So I think that is more important. So you need to have a proper strategy. That is the first thing. And the strategy is not about planning the success alone, but it need to be sustainable. So let me also take a small, a case study about an insurance company. So the insurance company during the COVID time, it went viral, correct? Also, everybody were trying to talk to them only on a digital mode. So the insurance company, which had a lot of salespeople, they were not able to focus on answering all these questions, because there were a lot of questions which are coming up. So immediately the insurance company went back and built an AI system to make sure that the FAQs were answered. So they brought in an avatar for insurance agent. Does it mean that all the insurance salespeople are being removed from the company? Definitely not. But the volume of work which are going to come, when it increases, you need to have these kind of avatars which are coming in place can do it. I think this can also happen in topmost IT companies, where you see every day if you wanted to recruit some thousand people, it's not possible for you to have a plethora of some 100 recruitment agents who are sitting there and coming you online and keeping on asking the monotonous question to you once again. So that is those are kind of works which has a lot of duplication which can be avoided. So this is where the AI and metaverse come into a picture, because most of the company, I think Accenture, Tech Mahindra, many of the company has started using this AI and metaverse for the recruitment process. So those kind of a recruitment work, which is like screening the employee, or asking the basic question, coming on video, asking the basic question, and seeing whether this profile is required or not required. So everything can be used using this kind of a platform. So what the agents, AI agents which were created, they were doing is it was only helping the sales agents, the sales people in the insurance company, to see where they can focus their target on who are my real clients, who are not my real clients. And it also helped and it empowered these sales guys, telling these are some 100 products which are available with my insurance company. Which are the products which is useful for him, which are the products which is useful for her, or which are the products which are useful for the business. So the sales manager still have a major role to play, but he's not shooting in the dark. So AI is giving him a lot of opportunity to understand, empowering him with a lot of clients data, with a lot of the data which are focusing on the clients and also on the product lines. So they built this algorithm accordingly, and the result of this was the sales increase. And this implementation of the solution has solved their business issues. So anytime you have to align your AI strategy with the business strategy, which becomes very important for us. So I think, do we have time, Professor? For me, I have two more slides to
Yeah, yeah.
go.
Please carry on.
So if you
Please
have
carry on.
time, then I would go through
You are giving a fantastic industrial perspective with respect to the technology. This is more important. It is taking the people out of the academic session, but is on the
Okay,
industrial perspective. That is more important. That that's
okay,
why
okay,
every sentence, every line of what they were one I'm also curiously watching, because
okay.
of we studied artificial intelligence in the theory class, But the today is that if it was to come out from the theory class and industry one, people have to understand. That's why your slide on that, your strategy, you have to align your AI strategy with the business strategy. It's more important
Yeah.
that. Please carry
Correct.
on. That's
So I have two more slides to go. So this slide, if you see, it is talking about the AI and metaverse working together. So the first one, if you see, it is more of immersive experience. So if you also see in the immersive experience, I will not take you through the whole part of it, but part of it. So this I've taken an automobile client as one of the case study. So the immersive experience is going to be the auto dealer. So if you talk about Audi car as an experience, so the auto dealership will have their own experience in using how the real time experience of selling the car. And there is also a linkage of the Meta Bank, which is coming up. And because the Meta Bank is going to give you a lot of information about to the dealership, is all about how the banking transaction happens, what are the EMIs which they need to pay, and things like that. Gaming is where you would be the customer would have a experience, because today if I wanted to buy an Audi car and if I go to the showroom, I need not go ahead and do the test driving myself, because the gaming technology on the metaverse will enable me to have that kind of a experience, which we call it as a meta gaming. And apart from this, I also already spoken about the virtual training platform and hiring platform, which will be a immersive experience for all the corporates which is coming in. And definitely, I think today professor is doing one-on-one sessions like this. Tomorrow he can do a metaverse event. So we will also be able to live see some around a million students who are sitting, a million probably hundreds of universities which are sitting in a same platform, and you will be able to create virtual events. And not less, not the least, we will also be able to create a fan engagement, because that is where we see right now a lot of engagement platforms are like Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter. But slowly you can see all those things will go on and community building will come up. So the community building will be the focus area for us. We will not be anymore working on the isolation of Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. The community building will bring everything together, and that is what where we will focus on. That is where the fan engagement will happen. Not only that, the real innovation is going to happen in metaverse platform. For an example, even today, if I'm going to if L'Oreal is coming into a community building metaverse platform, and if I say that this is a lipstick which doesn't have a moisturizer, or it need to have more kind of 24 hours effect or 18 hours effect and things like that, I'm going to put, so the customer will directly get involved in the innovation part. So when the fan engagement is coming through a metaverse platform, I'm going to give my real-time exposure there, and L'Oreal will be able to create the lipstick which I particularly need. So the innovation of new products will also be happening using these platforms. Apart from this, I think it will also enable the corporates will not only to innovate but also to remotely monitor what is happening in these spaces. And most of the companies who have also gone into a virtual platform and has made it as a hybrid model for people to work from home, work from office. I think Metaverse will be a great platform, because I have seen that companies have already started using this for conferencing, for all the board meetings and everything. So this is the immersive experience which can give, and future collaboration can be the factories of future. Tomorrow, I don't know, industry 7, industry 8, what is going to evolve, and it is going to affect the pharma industry to a bigger extent. The high-end surgeries which are going to happen, which I've already spoken about a case study, and definitely the smart cities and smart equipments, everything is going to be the future collaboration for us. And what are the enabling support mechanism is going to be the meta content which is going to come, and the content moderation, because I think LinkedIn by itself has moved from a networking platform to a content moderation platform. So that is what AI and metaverse will also do for us. And you can also experience a lot of operations which will happen only through this environment. So then we come to our next slide. This will be a super what do you say, advanced for me also, but I'm trying to touch how the metaverse is being built, though I'm not very technically sound for this. But then I thought, let me also share the 7 layers of how the metaverse has been created. So these 7 layers are being the experience itself, the monetization part, the content creation part, and the computing part, the software and the IoT part, which are going to come together. And later will be the human experience interface and infrastructure. So having this, sorry, I think we are supposed to go from down to up. So first is the infrastructure part where I spoke about the frameworks, then the human interface, then the software and IoT, then the computing part, then you have the content creation, then the monetization and the experience altogether. So if you talk about it in a normal human terms, I think metaverse will be enabled. It will be populated by and supported with artificial intelligence. It will drive all the 7 technology layers of metaverse, powering from the computing, powering from the creators, powering from supplying to new and sophisticated forms of storytelling. That is what it is going to give you. So it will also be, okay, pardon me?
No, carry on.
Yeah. So few people realize how quickly AI is advancing, and you can also, look at. Sorry, I'm not able to create some charts for you to show you on a real-time platform, but I think the newest is the Google Brain Transformer will go over 1 trillion parameters, or even expected to have more using the AI. So the decision will be taken using these kind of advancement, and I think lot of money is going to be invested in metaverse and AI platform. I think professor also spoke about it, lot of startup companies. So we are seeing almost all the startup companies which are going to come up, whether it is going to be in the technology space or automobile space or engineering space or whatever space it is. The investors are only looking at one thing, how AI and metaverse is getting integrated. So before the creation of all these advanced neural network, AI had already made an impressive strides. Voice recognition in the Alexa, machine vision, or the algorithm that seems to surface a thing which provoke reactions from all the social media has been taken into consideration. But what is alarming is the deep fakes. It is all about the what do you say, a fraudulent activity. So that will also be taken care. So we need to take all the precautions. And I think with that, I think I will come to the end of the session. But I would like to close it by telling when will the AI AI will take its full form is 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 not a date which we can put on. But some people are also going to say that the nuances or the textured storytelling of human being will never happen. But I think there's a wishful thinking. There is no reason to believe missions won't be able to match or surpass us, because we are seeing that happening on a day-to-day basis. But in the meantime, AI could be a very powerful and creative partner for us. So with that, I would like to conclude this session. I would be having this is the last slide which I would like to show on the how metaverse economy is being coming up. So you can see metaverse economy is worth around 8 to 13 trillion dollar in 2030. So a significant amount of investment is being done in the metaverse. Microsoft itself has invested around $70 billion in a metaverse platform, and Uber is investing around $30 million in metaverse. So that is what we could see at this point of time. And so as you can see, all the SMEs, MSMEs, startups, wherever, whoever you're coming in, please use AI and metaverse in a
previous slide. Can you put the previous slide? You just immediately moved.
this one.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, this one, just one.
Yeah. So
It's
this
very
is
important.
that.
Because we can also spend some time on this because for the viewers it will be very nice that.
Yeah, so I think this is where the investments are going on. So right now, all the venture capitalists whom the startup is asking, first thing they will ask you is, what is the AI which you're using? So AI will become the focus, the fundamental technology which we will be using. So with that, I thank you for all the opportunity which is given by Professor and Shobhit University. I think I've done justification for whatever the little time it's been given to me, but I am really open for any question and answer which you wanted to ask me at this point of time. Thank you so much. Over
Thank
to
you
you,
very
Professor.
much. Yeah, thank you very much. And you can also put the last slide. Thank you. Yes, that I will also capture it so that it gets into the video very nicely.
Yeah.
And but just 1 minute. That
So sorry if I've overshot my time a little bit.
no. It is even I. If you have time, I will allot another 1 more hour because you are such a busy CEO interacting with a lot of industries. I wanted to bring that understanding, and I'm very happy that today I have energized myself with a lot of new things which you brought it out. It is a mind
Okay.
boggling. It's a very important thing that which you brought it out. One is that I would like to summarize it appropriately. That see, one is that you said it that even though I talked about the 7 layers of communications and 7 layers of this metaverse, but your one slide is something like a mind boggling. And this slide is that no, this is about that how higher educational institution who teach whether electronics or communication or mechanical engineering or mechatronics or that social science or computer science, it's very important that your 7 layers. What is that technology? Today we are all teaching this technology in different verticals. We are talking about metaverse will bring all integrations appropriately. Physical world and virtual world, AI in physical world, AI in virtual world, how we would like to see that metaverse. And is no more the question of making jobless. It is there all your one slide talks about deriving values, that how to make economy based out of data. I think Professor Tarun Sharma has joined, and Dr. Tarun Sharma, thank you very much for joining. I will introduce Dr. Meera Venkat, and you must have seen her profiles from the webinar poster. And thank you very much. Before that, I will just summarize that today's topic is very important from the point of view of how to teach our younger generation how to have artificial intelligence and metaverse as not merely a technology subject, but the things that how to derive their deep understanding to get into economy development. And data is very important. Everything is coming out because I'm a man who was involved for the last 40 years of e-government program, e-governance, and we design systems, we design information systems. And then even the district level 1987 I put 28 sectoral database development program data. Today we have sophisticated technology. Now today AI and metaverse. If the data is not good quality data means good AI, good metaverse. Poor quality data means poor AI, poor metaverse. No data means no AI and no metaverse. And today, in the name of e-governance, Digital India program, every government department is supposed to have digitalized. But recently, the Bureau of Indian Standards has asked me to define e-governance. Professor Moni, you are a former DJ and is involved in this one. Now we have the e-governance definition, which we borrowed from abroad. Can we have it? I have redefined. Now it is going for discussion. I added anything e-governance means it has to face regulations. It has to meet the law of the land, and we have that Right to Information Act. The Right to Information Act, that's what in the talk we also talked about it. Technology innovation takes place, regulators are there, regulators don't understand the technology, there will be a battle of conflicts. It is going to take place that, but Metaverse will resolve the issue. As avatar, it will come down because it's talking about that AI in physical world and AI in virtual world. But today that slide which you have shown, that one with the 7 layers of metaverse, and also that in the play area, and 7 rows and 2 columns, and it means that is a 14 7 into 2 14 areas is where the students, if they are taught appropriately, our Indian economy. I talked about initially 3 areas. We have agriculture 4.0, your industry 4.0, 63 million SMEs. And I'm very happy. I wanted to tell Madam Dr. Meera Venkat, you are a CEO of Race Global. I wanted to use that Race Global of the 63 million SMEs in the country. Put that company name Race Global before that SMEs. We need it. You take Coimbatore, which has got 15,000 SMEs, and is supposed to be it's a land of innovation. And today they become a trader of Chinese products. And Industry 4.0, and if we are able to have, if make them as a raise global, you will raise globally, we'll raise them through technology. This is what I told the additional chief secretary and the chairman of Tamil Nadu Industries Investment Corporation. And he's Mr. Hansraj Verma, that Tamil Nadu, if you would like to be in the forefront, you have to train CEOs of SMEs in the technology. And now AI and Metaverse and Industry 4.0 is very important, and e-governance, how it has to come out. Today, madam, I'm from the point of view of, that the higher education institution, this 7 layers of Metaverse and the 7 play area which you have put it, they're all more value for the students to look into it. And I don't know that many of the institutions who teach data science or AI, whether even cover these 7 layers of Metaverse and 7 play areas. Just for the benefit of Dr. Tarun, we talked about that experience. We talked about games, shopping, social, and retail. It is a socio-economics and monetization, advertising, commerce, marketplace, stores, agents, content creator economy. If we see that content creator economy it is a very big area. Even though it was talked during the NDA one, there was an national committee which talked about content generation. It's a big economy development, but it is now coming with more vigorously design tools, assets market, and commerce and NFTs, and spatial computing, 3D engines, and augmented reality, virtual reality, and GIS. And then software and IoT, edge computing, AI agent, and blockchain, and human experience interface, and infrastructure, 5D, Wi-Fi, edge and hardware, and the layers which she has put it. I thank you. I salute you, madam, that to list out very effectively in a very systematic manner, that shows that how deep your industry involvement. I have been watching your webinar postings, your industry postings. That's why I picked up the title. In one of the industry meeting, you communicated to me that you had about 15-20 industry CEOs. You had talked about that AI Metaverse is a nebulous concept. I thought that it is no more a nebulous concept. It is emerging very well. We should be the part and parcel of this program. And I requested you, and you are there to deliver a talk today. Thank you very much. But I also would like to take that, how Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology and these two centers of excellence and raise global, how to raise ourselves to to get into that. With you have a lot of industry experience, collaborations, cooperations, and you are a thought leader, and how we can get benefit, out of how to make, to start with that state of Uttar Pradesh, which is equivalent to more than 4 states. Any experiment we do in Uttar Pradesh, it can be scaled up to the whole to India as well as to the other parts of the country. Today this program is being watched by the 33 member countries of ORDO. We are doing in association with ORDO, so it's very important. And this is, it's made me to now get on to that more vigorously, how to generate a lot of academic programs based on this one slide alone, 7 into 2, 14, columns. That with this, I would like to request Dr. Tarun Sharma. He is the Dean of the Department of the School of Computer Science of the Shobhit Institute of Engineering and Technology, and we'd like to hear from you. And then I would like to hear from Dr. Meera Venkat, and then close the webinar. Dr. Tarun Sharma, thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I sincerely apologize because I was busy with, one of the proud alumni just visited, and I was supposed to just handle, responsible for everything. I really missed the lecture given by Dr. Meera, and we definitely ask her to share her slides where she mentioned 7 layers of metaverse. As Professor Moni was mentioned, that 2011 it was mentioned in a magazine that data is going to be a new world. Okay.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that. Can you repeat it for me?
Yeah, the data is going to be new oil. Okay,
Yeah.
it was mentioned somewhere in 2011. It was mentioned, and this course came into the existence, if I am not mistaken. It was mentioned in 2011 in a magazine, but now it is becoming.
Dr. Tarun, can you adjust your photo camera? Your head is getting chopped.
Yes. Fine.
So we are now in the world of metaverse. We should be seen properly.
Correct. I do realize the importance of augmented and virtual reality. So, I really missed your lecture. I hope that it, would have been the interesting lecture. But what, as a teacher, I have observed that the data science, machine learning, AI, blockchain, cybersecurity are becoming the buzzwords. Okay, which and we as an academician, we are supposed to include, these subjects core into the discipline. Okay, by giving them the degree with specialization and all that. And from the last year onwards, now we are providing the degree with specialization in 8 minor disciplines that includes AI, machine learning, big data, cloud computing, enterprise resource planning, and other is software engineering. We are trying to mitigate the gap between the requirement of the industry. That is, we are trying to make our students the market ready by mitigating the gap. What industry exactly wants, that is 4.0, and we are looking forward 5.0. So I will ask Dr. Meera to assist us. If she could be, the part of our academic council, where we can take help from her, so that we can design our syllabuses as per the requirement of the industry. Although we are having different teams which are working on the syllabi part, but still there are certain gaps what actually the industry wants, and where basically we are working for. Because again, the certain agencies are approaching us for the 4 weeks or 3 weeks course on augmented reality and the virtual reality. But at the same time, we face certain crisis in terms of resources. Okay, because teaching technology or theoretically is quite easy, but without giving them the practical and knowledge or hands-on experience, where the the gap lies between the demand of the industry and what actually the institution offers. So keeping in mind, we are trying to give almost 40% credit to the project-based learning. Okay, 40% will be the part of their academic career as a theory, and 40% now we are emphasizing on different the technologies. First, we analyze the interest of a student, then we basically use to segregate the student in different groups so that we can award them the degree based upon their minor specialization. So definitely we take certain input from Dr. Meera where we need to more focus so that we can make our students industry ready.
Was it a question or was it a statement which you made?
See, we are facing certain difficulties when we are preparing our students for the industry. There are still certain gaps because
Okay.
we are focusing more on theoretical part, but now we have changed. We have the ratio now 60% is the theory and the 40% is the practical part. So
Okay.
still we are basically having a challenge because we hardly get any problem from the industries because if we supply them real time problems, okay, to the students, they will learn more rather than just converting the theory part into the practical part. Will they get
Okay.
certain the challenges or some real time problems from the industry? See, teaching data science in a classroom is quite easy, but while implementing the different tools used for analyzing the or extracting the meaningful information from the given set of data becomes tough when they come into the actual
Yeah, that's yeah. It
we
is. It
supply
Yeah.
is.
them,
It's
exactly,
yeah.
we supply them
Professor
some
Karan.
real, yeah, sir, please.
Yeah, it is very nice that that is the reason only. During the COVID situation has created a lot of opportunity for us. And the madam also during her lecture, she talked about it, how Metaverse has given a lot of benefit. It is opportunity for emerging. The
Correct.
thing is that today it is a 70th edition of this webinar series by bringing experts from industry, academia, both Indian and abroad, and different topics. And it will be in very important for the faculties of the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology and Soviet University Congo to get associated with the industry leaders like Dr. Meera Venkat. And she interacts with the lot of industries. And that's why her company name, she is heading, is CEO of Race Global. Is not only Race Local, it's not even Race Regional, it is Race Global. So I also put my intent for me that this is 14.5 crores operational holders, farming community, and 63 million SMEs. These are all very important, and for which industry association and like a person like Dr. Meera Venkat, and then that centers of excellence like what the university like ours will put it, and that will bring in a lot of industry related problems for our students to understand and work. I think that's why I requested Dr. Meera Venkat to get associated with university. And you also said it that you should also get associated with academic council to bring in industry experience with the Soviet University. I will request her. And like this, many of the guest speaker who have participated in both the webinar series, either they have signed an MOU with university and they are also working, and they would like to associate the university to be a leader in bringing out industry academia association. And it's very important. Over to Dr. Meera Venkat to respond to the some of the observations which Professor Karun Sharma made it. Over to Dr. Meera Venkat.
Sure. I think to work with the Center of Excellence with Shobhit University, to work with student platform is really great. So if we can go ahead, we can take the next step on how we can work together. So probably I would only require, what are the things which the university is already doing, right now, and what is the focus area you would require any kind of a support from us or from the industry side. If that is being made clear, then we can do a focused effort which can help the students and also the industry platform. So Race Group is any time is open for all these kind of initiatives, either with the university or with the industry. So I would request if we can also otherwise patch up on a call to explore the synergies together, then we can find out what is the next step for this.
I also would like to tell you, I would also like to tell you just 1 minute, Professor Sharma, that even the National University in Ethiopia, it is Jimma University, is now going to launch the MTech in Agricultural Informatics program in that university, based on what we have introduced in the Shobhit University here. So it is a very big thing, and they are also watching these programs. That will be a very strong collaboration between India and Ethiopia from this University of Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology, and Jimma University in Ethiopia. So like that, many collaboration, and then as you rightly said it, that and we will sign an MOU between Race Global and the Soviet Institute of Engineering and Technology. And then, because I don't know, today the talk has come out with many slides which are all with that how to align ourselves not only with the industry AI and metaverse strategy with the business strategy. We also would like to, if we would like to generate the students entrepreneur with the entrepreneur's skill set and entrepreneurship development in the area of AI and metaverse. It means that they would like to go through the 7 layers of metaverse and also associated areas they have to play. It's very important. Thank you very much, Dr. Meera Venkat, for your interest to get associated, and we'll be very happy to get it through a memorandum of understanding. Dr. Tharu, yes.
Thank you so much. You have been my question. Definitely, we will be in touch with you, and we'll share, our key and focus areas where basically we are looking for, because we just want to, make our students industry ready, and I think you are a, great connect where we can learn how to make them industry ready. So, my professor Moni will send you a mail and just have your contact number and share the details so that we can have long and future association. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for the opportunity, and
Thank you.
all the audience too.
Thank you very much. And with this, and I would like to thank Honorable Chancellor, His Excellency Secretary General Ardo, and Honorable Vice Chancellor, faculty members, and the participants, and our guest speaker for today's program. Thank you very much. And for, this is very important. And with this, we will close the webinar and leave the studio. Thanks for your participation. And for any queries, please contact Professor Moni, Professor Moni Madaswamy, Professor Emeritus, Chairman, Center for Informatics Development Solutions and Application, Center for Industry 4.0 Technology Studies and Application, and former Director General, National Informatics Center, Government of India, New Delhi. My email ID is moni@sobhituniversity.ac.in. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.